So as I think about replacing the whole internet, seems like a monumental task. But the internet started pretty small and it grew pretty quick because it served people well. And if you look at the dead internet theory, you'll find that the internet has become full of bots. You've probably interacted with some fake accounts, scammers, people trying to sell you Forex or crypto, people advertising their OnlyFans or, whatever. And various scams of all kinds. And there used to be scams, and they were pretty regular, and you'd recognize them. But now, probably most content is being produced as useless. I've even talked to a writer who wrote up an article. He knew nothing about the topic. But all you have to do now, especially with AI, I mean, he wrote it himself, but this is before AI that he did it. But now with AI, you can just assemble books, and there's videos on how to do it. There's videos on how to just assemble useless, non-authoritative content and spew it out there. There's videos on how to make a YouTube channel without using your face, without knowing anything, and you can profit a lot. In other words, these people want to profit off producing garbage on the internet that is simply a distraction, does not empower your life, doesn't help anyone, and essentially the internet is ruined. Now, you may not think it's come to that yet, but I use the internet a lot, and I've been using it since 1985, and BBS is before that. So I'm pretty aware of how online communications work, and I've seen the trajectory towards the total destruction of the internet. Now, there's a solution for that, and that is to have verified identities for every person. And they could use a pseudonym, but they have to get invited by somebody real, affirming that that person's real. People can only have one pseudonym, or that's not necessary, but there has to be a way to verify this is one real person. Not even a company. Maybe people would post things in favor of their company or post ads even of things that they're personally involved in. But, so real identity, that's what we want. And then reputation tracking that identity. So people could report stupid, bad behavior by someone according to them. And then other people would have automatic blocking of people who, if someone else that they trust blocks that person, they might automatically get blocked. Now, there's a danger, of course, in having what they call it, information silos, or having just groups of people who never see anything they disagree with. That's not really what I'm aiming for. I would like there to be a diversity of thought, but real thought from people who aren't total dicks. Shouldn't insult dicks or pussies. Shouldn't insult assholes, I guess. But it's just become a horrible wasteland of horrible people. And I don't think most people in person are like that. Maybe they're like that underneath it all. I don't know. But I don't want to deal with those people at all. I don't trust them. I asked online about which websites have the best reputation tracking. And I don't think I've gotten a good answer on it yet. Because things like Airbnb, yeah, they reputation track. But do they do a good enough job? And I don't think they do. Dating sites certainly don't. And that's a case where you're actually, the intention is to potentially become intimate with someone and have a relationship with them, maybe even form a family. And they're miserable. Like there was one, I think it was OkCupid or Match.com, I forget which, that did a pretty good job at asking a whole bunch of questions and then telling a percent that you match with someone. And you could see points of difference and things. For some reason, I think that site no longer operates quite that way. And all these sites, Quora, Facebook, YouTube, they all end up making decisions that maximize their monetary gain rather than serving you. The exception that I can think of online is probably Wikipedia. Wikipedia is a hugely useful site that does manage to survive and probably does pretty well just through donations. And it's imperfect. I actually edited a Wikipedia page once, and I put in some false information to see if anyone would catch it. I haven't checked it in a few years, but I don't think that that information's been removed. It should at least be tagged as needs a reference. Needs something to back it up. But overall, Wikipedia does an astounding job at providing a repository of content that is probably the best in the world. And they have a staff of, 7,200 people. And they create one of the most used websites in the world in many languages and growing all the time. That is the model I want to see for everything else. I want to see social networking sites where they aren't making a ton of money. They're making enough, and they provide good quality content for people, provided by people who are real, created by them. And so I think, what would it take to start a new YouTube channel? I thought about that for my own content. Why am I limited by YouTube's bullshit when I could just make my own website, host my own videos, get some support for doing it because it costs to host and bandwidth costs and things, and create content direct to people. And then I could post on the existing legacy internet pointing to the content that I have. Because I give all my content away for free. I haven't made anything off videos. I'm not a cute chick. Some chick, I just saw a video of her. She's very cute. And she's young and she's actually amusing, but it's just talking head videos, relatively boring. And very directly ordering you what you need to do in life as if she knows shit at her young age. I agree with a bunch of what she says, so it's not like she's totally stupid or something at all. She seems very smart. But she's got tons of viewers, more than I have. I think 8 times more than I have on a different channel I have that I've had for years and years, and I produce real content for. And it's only because she's a cute chick. That's my opinion. She thinks it's because she worked really hard. I don't. And I don't, I'm not trying to be a judgmental dick or anything, but sorry, asshole. Go home. Go home. You, go home. So, I don't know. I think I have to make better content again, and that will involve inviting more people here, including cute chicks. But, I want to be producing really, really useful content that actually helps people in a world that's struggling greatly. I want to, I can teach them how to make composting toilets. I can teach them plant reproduction. I can teach them how to do agriculture without irrigation. I can talk about living with, 5 to 10% of the energy that you currently use and waste. I can talk about architecture that also supports that. But ultimately, most people don't really care. And they won't care until more people start dying off, which is what we're on track to have happen. We're already seeing demographically, we're seeing population growth declines very soon, and actual population declines in some countries, Italy, Japan, etc. But very soon you're going to see a cascading failure of various systems. And after the first 500 billion people die, maybe a lot of people will suddenly start taking shit seriously. Your survival is at stake. My concern is that at that point, we will not have the resources and organization, because our communications grid will probably be down, to actually coordinate and have a peaceful collapse of civilization. I would suspect lots of crime. If there's starvation, there'll be crime. I would expect, political systems to all fall apart, which I certainly won't cry over that, but it's not good if it goes into total chaos, the wrong kind of anarchy, the chaotic, violent kind, as opposed to the well thought out, organized anarchy that actually functions really well in the world. I know about that firsthand. It can work. Or something nearing anarchy as a goal. Total anarchy, total lack of any official institution to act with violence, which is what the state is. It's a monopoly on violence. And therefore it always goes bad because people are kind of terrible, and so the people who are in charge of that will end up being thieves and corrupt and everything. So, but during that process, my fear is that we won't have the option to create more utopian solar punk solutions. And so I think we have to do those now. We have to have them in place. Like, we have to replace the existing world now while we can and start living the way we should be living. And, the more people we can help do that, the better. But I think we're in such overshoot that there is really no way to avoid the human population going down to 1 billion, 2 billion, 500 million, or perhaps extinct. That's the track we're on. Everybody's working for it. You're working for it. Every time you take a plane flight, you're, having a massive ecological impact. Your general lifestyle is probably pretty horrible. You want the government to fix problems for you at the expense of others that you wouldn't want to pay for yourself. Economic inequality is something people get really worried about, but they got to realize all that money is fake. And so what matters is the real production, the real ownership of land, which I personally think there should be limits on how much land people can own. Like, I think it was United Fruit, the banana folks, Chiquita Banana, they used to own like a ton of Honduras. And I think that's why Honduras is still fucked up. I don't know if they ever redistributed land or just changed who controlled it. But the fundamental corruption in society is what will lead to its total downfall. Of course, there'll be other apparent causes. There could be... Hi. Can you go home? Can you go home? This is not really my dog. Go home. Or let me pet you. Can I pet you? Just let me do something here. Dog is very frustrating. That is a dog named Solo Vino, because he came here alone to adopt me because I have free food. And I yelled at him at first, and he went away, and he was always very far away from me. And now he still isn't my dog. I thought I could seduce him, because I can be a seductive guy, and I have food. But he's never let me touch him. He was obviously very abused before I got him. He was very skinny when he showed up. So he was not welcome in town. And I don't want him going to town. Like right now, he's following me into town. Go home. Go on home. Get out of here. Go on home. No, don't fake like you're going home. Actually go home. He's not going to go home. Although I don't know if he'll follow me all the way into town. He's made nervous in town. I don't know. I should get a BB gun. Not one that hurts him bad, but just get him under control. My better idea was to seduce him, and then I could get him sterilized, because he's not sterilized. At least he's a boy, so he won't have puppies. Because that's the bigger problem with having unsterilized dogs, is all of a sudden you have shit tons of puppies everywhere. That's called a farmer's blow, by the way. I'm sure many people find it disgusting. My dad did it, and I thought it was disgusting. And then I later decided, screw it, it's just fucking fine. What was I talking about? I don't know. I got a couple other things to talk about, too. Bye.